Are you fucking Satan?
Nah, I'm not fucking Satan.
South Park can be so merciless sometimes, but it didn't start there. It actually started somewhere around here.
Mr. President, you have so many great ideas. Your leadership is truly beyond anything we have ever had in this country.
Trump has been told a variation of something like that pretty much his whole life, but that's not why he wanted to become president. For that, I blame Seth Meyers. It was 2011 during the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Trump was sitting in the audience and Seth Meyers threw a grenade straight into his face. Donald Trump has been saying that he'll run for president as a Republican, which is surprising, since I assumed he was running as a joke. What a joke. Trump took it on the chin. 4 years later, on June 16, 2015, he rolled a golden escalator down to the lobby of Trump Tower in Manhattan and announced that he was running for president. This seemed like an even bigger joke. The entire country laughed. Late-night hosts laughed, political scientists laughed. Saturday Night Live laughed so hard they put Alec Baldwin in a bad orange wig. Even cartoonists laughed. The whole world was handed an opportunity to satirize the living hell out of the craziest politician in living memory, and somehow they all fumbled it, except South Park. So how did Matt and Trey do it? How? They did something in season 19 that nobody else even attempted. They took Mr. Garrison, a character who'd been on the show since the first episode, a known racist and bigot, and let him organically become Trump. Garrison wanted the illegals out of America. He wanted to build a wall. He was clearly unfit to be president, but he ran and won. And he bombed Canada. But when Trump won again in November 2024, they took it to hell. While many cartoons threw in the towel, especially to escape a lawsuit, South Park was getting Trump in bed with the devil. Literally.
Well, if Mr. President Trump is fucking Satan, and I'm not saying if he is or he isn't, I'm just kind of hoping he is.
Now, in order to appreciate just how good South Park's satire was, we have to take a look at what the competition was doing. And we'll start with Family Guy's Trump Guy. Family Guy had done Trump material before he became president, but it's easy to parody a golden toilet-owning, spray-tanned celebrity. I know I can. The real test was doing it once he became president and had the nuclear codes. Well, they flopped so bad. In fact, their post-2016 attempt was a 22-minute cringe fest that should have never left the drafts, in my opinion. And they had good material. The Access Hollywood tape had already happened. The Mueller investigation, too. America was basically handing them jokes on a silver platter, yet their grand Trump entry was titled Trump Guy. That's like naming a dentist episode Tooth Man. Every joke in this episode was as lame as the title. Orange skin, weird hair, small hands, Diet Coke, the works. The main plot is Peter Griffin becomes Trump's press secretary, so the Griffin family moves to Washington, D.C., and then, and this is the headline moment, Trump grabs Meg's privates. That's the big joke. The famous grab him by the pussy line. It was very 2016, except it aired in 2019. The showrunner, Rich Appel, even went on Entertainment Weekly and tried to defend the Meg scene by saying, "Let's play a game. If I say the words Donald Trump to you, what's the first thing you think?" My answer's Jeffrey Epstein. In their defense, Family Guy had sucked hard for the last 10 years, so it's not like they could do any better. It takes them a year and a half to make episodes. South Park takes 6 days. The difference in timelines isn't even comparable. But at least they learned their lesson. In January 2025, as Trump was being inaugurated for his second term, Richard Appel said in an interview, "One person you shouldn't expect to see in season 23 is President Donald Trump, because they take a lot of time in production." So, Family Guy season 23, which ran from February to July 2025, with some of the most chaotic months in recent American political history, did not feature Trump. They realized they sucked so hard at satire they didn't even bother satirizing the most insane 1 year in presidential history. South Park's exhausted animators can only dream. So, even though the creators took a break during the 2024 elections, they brought an avalanche in the next season. On July 6th, 2025, they dropped Gotta Nut, which aired while Family Guy was nutting up production of their 23rd season. In it, they attacked MAGA and ICE. They made Mr. Mackey lose his school counselor job because Jesus is now the school counselor, which is the least weird thing to happen in the episode. To be able to make money, Mackey joins ICE, okay? Yes, slim, slow-talking, and weird Mr. Mackey is let into ICE. But then again, who isn't? The ICE recruitment video in the episode basically sings,
We don't ask for experience, just show up.
overweight gamers show up, couch potatoes show up, and all of them are given uniforms and guns. If it's so easy to get into the real world ICE, then why can't Mr. Mackey? And they have zero training. Oh, wait, they are trained. Kristi Noem asks them to round up everyone black and brown. Even Dora the Explorer's not spared. Being a human hunter with guns is easy when you're promised a $50,000 signing bonus. With that much money, you might even learn how to hate the brown and black people. They even show Kristi Noem shooting dogs. Too much? Relax, it's just satire. I mean, she already said she did stuff like that in her memoir. And let's not talk about her terrible Botox. Even Clyde has to start a podcast where he said vile things while debating women and foreigners just so he can make a few bucks. I love it. If being MAGA could pay for your rent, would you? Think about it. The episode aired on TV the same day Tim Cook went to the Oval Office with a golden gift for Trump. I know it didn't happen, but I imagine Mr. Mackey's voice blasting over the speakers. If you're doing something you don't really believe in just to make your nut, you're gonna find you just get sadder and your nut just gets bigger. While Tim debased himself for presidential access, which gave Matt and Trey an idea for another episode, Sycophancy. Look at that. I even forgot this began as a Family Guy analysis. So yeah, Family Guy tanked, and it's not a question of talent. Seth MacFarlane and his writers are talented. It's a question of balls, which they clearly don't have. But our cartoon president tanked even harder. When Trump won in 2016, our cartoon president truly went for it with 3 full seasons and 48 episodes. They even had a premium cable budget on Showtime and Stephen Colbert, a man who built his entire brand on political mockery as one of the 5 creators. This should have been an animated Trump takedown, but what did it turn out to be? IndieWire's review answered that question without using a single kind word. Showtime's lame Trump cartoon turns Donald into a dumb sitcom dad. They took the most destabilizing, historically unprecedented political figure in modern American history, a man who'd already inspired mass protests, articles of impeachment, and a million op-eds, and made him a funny sitcom dad. They turned Trump into Homer Simpson and Peter Griffin and thought we wouldn't notice. Well, the critics showed no mercy. One Metacritic reviewer wrote, "A feeble disappointment. Constant ass-addery and pratfalls failed to provide any meaningful or substantial humor. I highly recommend just sticking to the memes." Memes! The reviewer recommended memes over a Showtime production. The IMDb score was 5.5, even lower than Family Guy's Trump Guy. Imagine an entire series of 3 seasons and 45 episodes scoring below a single episode. That's far from a miss. That's falling down the stairs, and then the stairs fall on you, and then the building falls on the stairs, and then the street outside collapses. Stephen Colbert must have regretted being so soft when Trump won again in 2024, sued his parent company, and got his show canceled. His villain origin story is now complete. Colbert returned on December 18th, 2025 with Colbert's canceled Christmas, The Last Noel, an animated special. But before we go further, let me say Stephen Colbert will make a terrible Disney villain. In the show, a character called King Jagbag uses ice to arrest Santa Claus. I mean, who else could King Jagbag possibly be? Well, I don't know. Anyway, Santa's imprisoned in Alligator Elfcatraz, a facility previously occupied by Jeffrey Elfstein. Real subtle, man. Real subtle. Pete Hegseth stands at the gates and declares,
"No fatties, no beardos."
Stephen Miller shouts through a bullhorn,
"Round up the elves! They're for an invader!"
It is funny. I mean, I laughed. The Hegseth line is good. The Elfcatraz Elfstein wordplay is good too. The timing's emotional, being the final run and all, but you would think that Colbert and his team will be mad enough to do something scathing. It aired in December. ICE had deported actual American citizens by accident multiple times. A sitting senator had been detained at an airport, and many media companies had received Trump lawsuits. One of them, Paramount, Colbert's own employer. Why couldn't they be mad enough to produce something feral? They seemed as afraid of more lawsuits like Jesus was in South Park's Sermon on the Mount. Colbert probably whispered to his team to tone it down, just like Jesus whispers to the people of South Park who want to protest against Trump. South Park doesn't stop there. Jesus even asks them to remember what happened to Sirius.
Yeah, well, guess who owns CBS? Paramount.
That shot went right into the chest of their mother company Paramount for being so easy to control by Trump. And the news anchors reporting the protests are so scared they have to repeat several times that they're not in support of the protest to avoid getting sued. Do I need to point out how fearless Matt and Trey are? In fact, 48 hours after they signed the largest deal in the history of the show, on a network that was paying Trump $16 million to settle a lawsuit, they produced 5 episodes that drew the biggest season premiere audience since 1999 and caused the White House to issue a formal written statement to 4 major publications. In the episode Sermon on the Mount, they went low into hell, swooped up the devil, and dropped him in bed with Trump. Not weird at all, just 2 lovers with a lot in common, spooning. Besides, it wouldn't be the first time they would have been coupling Satan with a human. He had previously been in a relationship with Saddam Hussein and do the handicapped go to hell. Satan even tells Trump,
"You haven't been working, you've been doing your stupid memes and just fucking around."
So they know each other well. Still, in this episode, the people of South Park get served a lawsuit because of the protest and have to settle with Trump for $3 million. They're also made to release pro-Trump messaging, but this is my favorite part. For the ad, Matt and Trey take the piss by generating an AI video of Trump naked in the desert. His small peepee even has eyes.
Trump, his penis is teeny tiny, but his love for us is large.
Stephen Colbert loved it and even called it a message of hope. Yep, maybe he was just scared. But the White House didn't find the episode funny at all. They even issued an official written statement.
This show hasn't been relevant for over 20 years and is hanging on by a thread with uninspired ideas in a desperate attempt for attention. President Trump has delivered on more promises in just 6 months than any other president in our country's history, and no fourth-rate show can derail President Trump's hot streak.
Well, you don't issue official statements about things that don't hurt you. Colbert could learn a thing or two about being a villain from South Park. Even his previous attempt to satirize the attack on woke was so poor, and he did it in Fairview. Fairview aired on Comedy Central on Wednesday nights immediately after South Park. This was like opening a lemonade stand next to a Michelin-starred restaurant and hoping people wouldn't notice. Everyone did, even newborn babies, because the show was silly. Fairview was about a small town of nesting dolls. They would identify a hot cultural issue and argue about it at length. Then they would do something quite incredible. They would stop there. One IMDb reviewer wrote, "My TV decided to play the pile of garbage that is Fairview after an episode of South Park. I have since canceled YouTube TV." But with those same themes, South Park threw multiple shots that hit 1 million people. Like in Sermon of the Mount, Cartman learns his favorite show, NPR,
The funniest show ever where all the lesbians and Jews complain about stuff?
has since been canceled by Trump. If it's canceled, it means woke is dead. If woke is dead and anyone can say what they like, then Cartman's no longer special. He wanders through South Park, lost. He is, for the first time in 27 seasons, without an identity. But even the woke people are without identities too, like PC Principal, who immediately jumps ship and becomes a Christian. This is a shot at Trump's weird policies, but also how people built their entire personalities around certain ideas. When those ideas are no longer relevant, some immediately switch, some try to poison themselves like Cartman. South Park took it even further with episode 3, Sycophancy. They grabbed the tech bros by the neck. Tim Cook, Mark Zuckerberg, and other rich dudes give Trump bribes. Sorry, gifts. Tim Cook even gives him a glass plaque with a golden base.
Mr. President, your ideas for the tech industry are so innovative, and you definitely do not have a small penis. Please accept this gift on behalf of Apple.
The sycophancy. But they had competition. If you've been online lately, you know that Iran did something that Disney, Showtime, Seth MacFarlane, and Stephen Colbert couldn't do. They made funny Trump content with Legos. Explosive Media, whose name will scare you once you find out who sent them, generated animated videos with AI. These videos showed Trump and Netanyahu as Lego minifigures. They showed American Lego soldiers returning in tiny flag-draped caskets. They showed Lego Trump sitting with Lego Netanyahu and a Lego devil examining a folder labeled Epstein file. Then Lego Trump pushing a button that launches a missile at an Iranian school. Explosive Media even said boldly that the Iranian government was the customer. Yeah, I don't think they had anything to lose. American academics ran out of scholarly language and described the videos as actually well thought out and really, really smart. But the videos were cooked too. There was a lot of anti-Semitism baked right in, but that's trendy these days. Kanye's Hail Hitler is practically the national anthem of Instagram. So the Iranian Lego videos worked. They did the thing that satire is supposed to do, which is find the exposed nerve of a situation and press on it. The Simpsons couldn't do it. Family Guy folded the chance to do it in a paper airplane and threw it out the window. Our cartoon president spent 3 seasons making Trump someone you could invite to a barbecue. That's why South Park is important. Even in episodes like Walk is Dead and Conflict of Interest, they dig for gold. Walk is Dead opens with a simple, very American problem. Butters needs to buy his girlfriend a Labubu doll for her birthday. A Labubu, for the uninitiated, is a small collectible toy from China some people have decided is worth the same as a used car. The old City Walk restaurant in South Park has been converted into an Asian pop-up store because, as owner Tuong Lu Kim explains to Butters,
Yeah, but our whole country changed. Didn't you hear the news? Walk is dead.
when Butters finally wins a super rare one in the claw machine, Lu Kim immediately raises the price to $600 because it's super rare Labubu. You gotta pay more tariff. The American dream, alive and well with its consumerism. Anyway, Butters takes the rare Labubu to his girlfriend's birthday party. Red then leads 20 girls upstairs to perform a demonic summoning ritual. The ritual works to summon the devil, but Trump appears too. This isn't a metaphor, they both appear. Fox News even covers it, but not in the way you'd think. The anchors actually sit and debate whether the president is Satan. Sean Hannity even releases footage of Trump following Satan into the bushes of a golf course. Then Karen from Fox and Friends delivers the verdict that ties it all together.
I think the president is definitely fucking Satan, and I love it.
The double entendra's delicious. Well, the next thing they find out is he's pregnant. And the Chiron reads, Trump confirmed father of Satan's butt baby. The show is not making up for Fox's behavior. Fox loves Trump. Whatever he does, Fox News celebrates. Then Conflict of Interest aired in September 24th, 2025, and it shows Trump plotting home accidents so Satan will have a miscarriage, but it sets off on FCC each time, and he ends up in a hospital with toxoplasmosis. J.D. Vance, it turns out, has been planting the abortion idea in Trump's head because if Satan's baby dies, Vance will be next in line to be president. This was bold. Jimmy Kimmel's show had been canceled for pointing out how MAGA was trying to dissociate from Charlie Kirk's murder. The FCC chairman himself had called his opinion disgusting and basically threatened him. So Matt and Trey showed the FCC suffering as a result of being in Trump's way in this episode. And then, in the hospital, the doctor says,
I'm afraid he may lose his freedom of speech.
I love it! And South Park isn't done. In season 28, Trump still wants the baby gone. He visits Planned Parenthood under the alias Coco Slutty Davidson, an alias the real-life Trump will be familiar with. But the doctor can't handle the abortion because he's short on skilled staff. In episode 5 of season 28, Satan tells Trump,
This child will be born, and for once, you are going to have to live with the consequences of your actions.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. The Satan Trump butt baby hung itself in the womb, Jeffrey Epstein style, complete with mysteriously missing ultrasound footage. No proof, no case. So why is South Park better? Because they fear no one. That's the most important skill for every political commentary. Even when Paramount was writing checks to make Trump go away, they were writing Trump into another episode. That's why South Park is the only cartoon in the history of American political satire in the second Trump era that made the government flinch.